Hey y'all, beautiful human family, how you feeling today? My name is Jewel Time, and it is cold as heck in Paris, France. Don't judge me, I have on my onesie and my terrace is a mess, but that's not why we're here today. Today I have something for you to think about. Spiritual, beautiful human being who is preparing their mentality and their spirit to acquire money and wealth for the community. I have something for you to think about. Let's talk about the Federal Reserve, the velocity of money, and the M2 chart. Here we go, meet you at the computer. On this channel, money is energy. It is the manifestation of the exchange between human beings as a community, as a family, an exchange of goods, services, ideas, creations, energies, monergy, right? The economy you can think of as the story that all those interactions are telling. And the economy is multifaceted because it doesn't just involve the human beings, it also involves the money and the centralized structures that control, that print that money. It's not complicated. And we do need to have a little bit of preparatory information to get started. And what are we doing? What is this video about? Well, this channel is about hacking our minds, hacking the programs that exist and replacing them with updates that are way more adapté, way more in alignment with where we have the potential to go as human beings, right? So in this video, I'd like to propose you a thought form that is going to hopefully make you think and ask yourself questions and wonder what exactly is happening in a way that maybe you haven't done that, because maybe you haven't been too interested in finance, and that's okay, because that's okay. And that was then. This is now, okay? So let's get right into it. The preparatory knowledge that we need for this video is number one. What is the Federal Reserve? What is the Federal Reserve? You've heard it, you've heard the title, especially if you've lived in America. What is it? And why do we care? Well, for this video, we need to care, so we need to find out what it is. So let's go look. What is the Federal Reserve? Supervises the banking system, maintains the stability of the financial system, provides banking services, and manages inflation. All right, let's read a little bit. The Federal Reserve System is the central bank of the United States and conducts monetary policy to manage inflation, maximize employment, and stabilize interest rates. The Fed supervises the nation's largest banks and provides financial services to the U.S. government. It also promotes the stability of the financial system. And here is where I need you to pay your attention. Although its members are appointed by Congress, its structure makes it independent from political influences. That makes it the most powerful single actor in the United States economy and thus the world. Let's read that again. Although its members are appointed by Congress, its structure makes it independent from political influences, making it the most powerful single actor in the U.S. economy and therefore the world. So the Fed supervises the banking system. It maintains the stability of the financial system. It provides banking services. It is the most powerful single actor in the U.S. economy and therefore the world. What you need to think about is when you hear the word Fed, you think federal government, right? And so you assume, just like most people, that this is the government. Is the Federal Reserve even part of the U.S. government, or is it something else? Well, let's go to their site and see what they have to say. Federal Reserve Bank of San Francisco. Is the Federal Reserve a privately owned corporation? Their words, yes and no. This is complicated. No, excuse me. This is not complicated. It is complex. It is a system that has very, very, very many levels, and I invite you to go do your own research. I've done my own research on this extensively, obsessively. For the purposes of this video, the best thing that I could possibly find to answer this question without getting too far into is this. This is a court case. I'm gonna do this like a lawyer, right? Because I don't know, because always wanted to be on Law and Order. I don't know. So this is Lewis versus the United States. What happened in this case? Okay, basically this case was in 1982. A guy named John Lewis got hit by a vehicle that was owned and operated by a Federal Reserve Bank. He sued, and the judge, David Williams, dismissed, holding that the Federal Reserve Bank was not a federal agency within meaning of act, and that the court therefore lacked subject matter jurisdiction. There was an appeal. The circuit judge held that the Federal Reserve banks are not federal instrumentalities for the purpose of the act, but are independently, privately owned, and locally controlled corporations. Okay? Again, beautiful human family, I encourage you to do your own research. The more that you open up your mind and interest yourself in what is happening in your humanity, because this is your humanity, this is your world, this is our world, this economic picture of what's happening. This is our lives. So it is interesting to us as human beings, as spiritual people, because we need to know what's going on so that we can prepare for what's coming, right? So what is the Federal Reserve? You have that knowledge. Is the Federal Reserve privately owned? For the purposes of this video, I'm going to say yes. These are my views and opinions. It doesn't represent much of anything else. Go do your own research. The third thing that we have to understand about the Federal Reserve, please stick with me. You're going to be so happy. Look at what you're doing. You're increasing your knowledge if you didn't already know this. And if you're a legacy economist, I might be pissing you off right now. And I'm sorry, I'm not sorry. That's not the point, because that's not the point. It's just about getting everyday people up to speed with what's going on. So the third and final part of our understanding about the Federal Reserve is the Federal Reserve printing money? Right? Because that's what we're hearing in the news. The Federal Reserve is printing more money and da-da-da-da and da-da-da-da. What does that mean? Inflation, deflation. Is that really what's happening? All right. Well, let's go check it out. Because again, check it out for yourselves. And I'm going to show you the stuff that I've found. Is the Federal Reserve printing money? This is going to be short, sweet, and to the point. The Federal Reserve is America's central bank. Its job is to manage the U.S. money supply. For that reason, many people say that the Fed prints some money. That doesn't mean the Fed has a printing press that cranks out dollars. Only the U.S. Department of the Treasury does that. Okay? So, yes, it is true that the U.S. Department of Treasury are the people that are printing the money. Who is telling them to print that money? The U.S. Federal Reserve controls the money supply in the United States. And while it doesn't actually print the currency bills itself, the U.S. Federal Reserve controls the money supply in the United States. And while it doesn't actually print currency bills itself, it does determine how many bills are printed by the Treasury Department each year. Sometimes in your researching of the economy, you got to realize also that things are set up to make you think that you don't understand. So combine the two pieces of information that we just had. Is the Federal Reserve printing money? No, only the U.S. Department of Treasury does that. And who tells them to do that? The U.S. Federal Reserve controls the money supply in the United States. And while it doesn't actually print currency bills itself, it does determine how many bills are printed by the Treasury Department each year. Bravo! That's it. That's it. That's all we got to understand about the Federal Reserve for the purposes of this video and the thought form that I'm about to present to you. You okay? Of course you are. You know what the Federal Reserve is now. You know that it's not a governmentally owned only, although it does interact with the government. There are subtleties. You have to go do your own research. And you know that, is it true that the Federal Reserve is printing money? No, because the U.S. Department of Treasury does that. And who tells them to do that? The Fed. That's all I'm going to say about that. All right, and that's all you got to understand. Bravo to you. I salute you as a human being, as a contributor to our new humanity, where the community has wealth that belongs to it, and it enhances that wealth with ideas and creations and all that other stuff. All right, so alrighty, well, now we can move along to the next interesting part of all of this. And thank you for paying your attention to this video. I hope this is interesting to you, and get ready because it's going to get even more interesting. We're going to take a look at a chart. Don't freak out. A chart is a chart. It's used for technical analysis in financial markets or all kinds of different markets. And it's a picture. It's a picture of what's happening, right? So let's look at this chart. Here we are at FED. Hey, FED. The Federal Reserve Economic Data, okay? And this is called the M2 money stock chart, okay? Again, it's just a picture. Look, it's just a line. It's just a line. But what is that? What is the M2 money stock? Let's find out. Let's take a look at this briefly. We're not going to go deep into it, but you got to know what it is. Let me look for a very simple and quick definition of what this is. The M2 money stock. The M2 money stock refers to the measure of money supply that includes financial assets held mainly as defined by the M2 measure, blah, blah, blah. Oh, y'all, this is, nobody wants to explain this simply. Nobody wants to explain this simply. All right, so I found a good definition, very simple right here. M2 definition. M2 is a measure of the money supply that includes cash, checking deposits, and easily convertible near money. This M2, right, here we are at the Federal Reserve Economic Data, and you see a chart. And this chart represents all of the money that is in circulation, right? Who decides how much of this is in circulation? Right, the Federal Reserve. Good for you. All right, this is not my world. This is my world. Let's take a good look at this chart. on this site. Don't get wrapped up. It's just a chart. It's a picture, right? This chart represents the amount of money in circulation. Money is Monergy. It's the manifestation of our ability to exchange as human beings. So it's not bad. It's just what is happening. Let's take a look at what's happening. This is so interesting, y'all. It's really, really, really kind of... Look, here we are at 2015, right? You see, the money is going up. The amount of money in circulation, who decides how much money is going to circulation? The Fed, is going up. It's going up, it's going up, and it's going up. Here we are in 2018. Here we are in 2019. Here we are in 2020. Let's take a good close look at this. Do you see what happened here? Do you see what happened here? Do you see how this went boom all the way up to the top? When was this? Oh, February 1st, 2020. What? Oh, March 2020. What was going on in March? Well, apparently what was going on in March was the Fed was increasing the amount of money in... Look, that looks like a lot, doesn't it? But I mean, it can't be that much because, come on, you know, it's the Fed. How much money does this represent? $9 trillion. Okay? $9 trillion. In other words, 22% of the circulating US dollars have been printed in 2020. 22% of the money that has ever existed was put into existence in 2020 by the Fed, right? $9 trillion. That's it. That's all. That's the story that this chart shows us. It's an interesting story, isn't it? That's a lot of money. That's a lot of money to be put into the circulation. We're not going to talk about inflation or deflation in this video. I encourage you to do your own research. And you think about this for 5 seconds. Since February 2020, $9 trillion into circulation. All right, good for you. You made it through that. Let's look at our second chart. That wasn't so bad, right? That was easy. The second chart that we have to look at is called the velocity of money. What is the velocity of money? The velocity of money. The velocity of money is the frequency at which one unit of currency is used to purchase domestically produced goods and services within a given time period. In other words, it is the number of times $1 is spent to buy goods and services per unit of time. In other words, the velocity of money chart shows us the picture of how much money is being spent in the economy by humans. So let's look at it. Ooh, this is an interesting story. Ooh, what I like about this site is that it does this thing. So it's like, look. Here we are in 1980. Here we are in. Isn't this an interesting picture? This is interesting, y'all. 1990. Look at the story that this tells. Look at how much money people were spending, because that's what this chart is talking about, right? Look, we're in 2000. We're in 2005. 2008. Boom. Here we are in 2015. Here we are in 2019. And look at what happened in 2020. Let's go back to my world, my trading view world, because I can't on the other side. Look at this, y'all. Sorry. Look at this, please. Let's look at this. Let's check. Take a look at this. Look at the story that this is telling. The velocity of money chart is the amount of money that human beings are using inside of the economy, that is circulating, that they are spending, right? Look at this story. Here we are in 2019. Here we are in July. Here we are in October of 2019. Here we are in January of 2020. Here we are in April of 2020. Do you remember what that other chart looked like? This is the thought form that I'm going to propose to you. Now we put this all together. Who puts the money into circulation? The Federal Reserve. The Federal Reserve is not a governmental agency per se. The Federal Reserve decides how much money is going to circulation. Our M2 chart showed us, M2, what you doing? M2, come on, get it together. Our M2 chart showed us that since 2020, specifically since February, March 2020, $9 trillion have been put into circulation. 22% of the money ever printed in the history of the United States, okay? And at the same time, strangely enough, the velocity of money has gone down. In other words, people ain't spending money. Okay, I know what some of y'all are gonna say. And I'm about, didn't I blow your mind this time? Didn't? I'm about to blow your mind. Watch this. Because yes, this picks up. When does this pick up? We're back at the velocity of money. This is just an idea. It's a thought form, okay? Okay? So look, here we are in April. Here we are in July. When did y'all get y'all stimulus checks? All right, and that's all I have to say about that. So congratulations and bravo to you. Did that make you think? If I've done my job, even if you don't care anything about the financial markets and you care about what's happening to humanity, this is a very, very strange picture. These charts show something very, very strange. Although the amount of money that is in circulation is at an all-time human history high, like 22%, the amount of money that is circulating in our economy is going down. That's it. I just want you to think about that. I want you to think about that, not with fear, this is not conspiracy theory. This is just what is going on based upon these pictures of our human family's interaction and the actions of the centralized structures that govern that. And to encourage you, to encourage the heck out of you, I'm going to show you one last chart. And this is my favorite chart of all time, if you had to know. Boom! Do you know what this is, ladies and gentlemen? This is Bitcoin. Look at Bitcoin. Look at Bitcoin. Look at all this. Wait, look at this. 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 I'm created. I exist. Oh, I'm proven. And then I go down. I'm taking a breath. And then, oop, I go up again. Ooh, and I'm proven again. And then I go down and I take a breath. And now I'm exhaling. And do you see what Bitcoin's exhaling has done in the last year? We're going to talk all about that. For now, have a wonderful, wonderful day. Thank you so much for paying your attention to this video. I hope it was interesting to you. If you like it, please click the like and subscribe button. A big disclaimer, this is not financial advice. I'm a human being, not your broker. Everything that involves finances and money and crypto and blockchain and DeFi and all the things that we're going to talk about on this channel require your extreme spiritual awareness. You got to be awake and aware, and you got to pay attention to what's going on, and you got to make your own choices, and you have to renseignez-vous. You got to inform yourself. Okay, so thank you for spending this time. I'm sending you love. Let's wake up further. Let's help each other stay awake and turn this paradigm into something delicious for everybody. Have a wonderful day.